Hey everyone, this is Sab and we are live in Dubai. We are already in 2021 and we're gonna starting season 3 of Live in Dubai. And always, as we promise you, we're getting for you different entrepreneur, different celebrity. And today we have one of the major topic, which is everyone passionate about, which is football. So we're getting the finest in the football, which is go by the name Saif. He have huge experience in football management and entertainment and lifestyle. So welcome Saif to the show.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So tell us, Saif, like how you starting your journey, you know, how you find yourself in the space. I know we're gonna go back a little bit.
No problem. I started off. I'm originally from. I'm Iraqi, but I was born in London.
Yeah.
So I was living in London most of my life.
Yeah.
And when I was 17, 18 years old, I was very big into the nightlife business in London. So that enabled me to build up my network of people from a long, long time ago from the world of sport, entertainment, media. And then I decided to become a sports agent when I was 21. And that's really where it all started. And then I built up from there.
Yeah, this is really amazing. And I think for many people that don't know Saif, actually Saif was a rugby player. And tell us how switched actually from rugby to football, you know?
Well, like when I was fit, a long time ago. So yeah, no, in England, sport is a big thing in general.
Yeah.
But the network of sport, media, entertainment, everything is linked together.
Okay. So what was like your first incident to football? Like how you like the first person you manage, and like what is the incident? Is it like you go for license first, or?
I got my license first, and then basically I was, working exclusively with lower level players.
Uh-huh.
But I had big level contacts. So I started from the bottom and then built myself up slowly until it got to a stage where I was dealing with Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, and things like that.
Okay. What is the special skills for like a football agent when it's come to discover talent? Because this is, I think, very unique skill.
It is, but at the same time, unfortunately, football is a business.
Yeah.
So sometimes the best players or being the best player doesn't guarantee you success.
Yeah.
Gives you a big opportunity, but also, unfortunately, the business is all to do with your network and your connections.
So how you define, like when you find like a football player, how you define like how you give the score in terms of talent? Is it like, for example, how we play football, attitude, like how it goes?
Your attitude and your mentality is probably more important than your talent. A lot of players have talent, but talent isn't enough. Make you succeed.
Okay. And I think as everyone agree with me, like the UK Champions League is the biggest league in the world, Yes. So how you find yourself in one of the major league in the world in terms of football?
It's great. I mean, look, obviously now it's a tough period in the world to do with the COVID-19 virus and all the bad things that are happening in the last, 12 months or so. Let's say even 18 months now, it's been a tough time in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So things are a bit on hold at the moment, but I hope that, end of this year, things can be back to some kind of normal.
Okay. If you remember like your first big deal when it comes to a football player, do you remember like this deal, like how you felt?
Very good. I did my first big deal. I think it was in 2008 with Manchester City.
Okay.
So I moved a player there from Switzerland. He was playing in Switzerland. He's from Ecuador originally. Mm-hmm. And I moved him there for a good transfer fee. And that was quite a good feeling of like a big moment in terms of doing something quite big.
I think in 2009, when there is crisis, you make a good deal in that year, right?
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think also like you always, when I see like your interview and stuff, you always talking about the importance of networking.
Yes.
Can you define what is the philosophy of networking for you?
For me, networking is all about having good relations with people across different fields and being able to know how to connect people in different sectors together and doing it very quickly. That is the essence of it.
Okay. And in terms of talent, because right now, like you manage a lot of football player, how it goes when you're having few players to have like big portfolio of player, how you balance your time and your team?
Well, for starters, I work closely with the clubs.
Yeah.
More so, I'm more involved with the players in terms of advisory capacity with their families and things like that. So because I work very closely with the clubs, I ensure that whatever business that needs to be done with the players is done. And of course, with players, they require a lot of babysitting. So there's a lot of guys that, will be in the team that will be working with those players in order to make sure that their day-to-day needs are covered.
So it goes like let's call it like a personal relationship. So managing a talent is not just like one day job, it's like long term. So
24 hours.
how it goes like to balance that?
It's very hard and it's not easy. And that's why, unfortunately, whether it's players and people like that, sometimes they will not be happy with what they're getting and they're going to look for someone else to look after them.
Yeah. And we hear, Saif, like you are a tough negotiator when it comes to contract. So how from good deal to bad deal?
Look, a good deal for me in any business in the world is a deal where everybody comes out of it happy.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time because sometimes people are it could be greed, it could be lack of understanding. So I try my best to structure deals which is good in the short, medium and long term.
Okay. And since you're starting in 1999, like as an Asian football, what is your overview of the changing of the clubs and how become more as a corporate, not just only a football club, right?
It's hugely corporate. Now it's the marketing and the commercial side is as big as the playing side.
Yeah.
So, the game has changed. Unfortunately, in some ways it's for the worse because you have young players getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when they have a lot of money, they don't know how to behave and how to, conduct themselves. And sometimes the clubs don't do enough to make sure their highly paid young players are behaving in the right way.
Yeah, I think you're right because nowadays when we have the internet and social media, I think even the behavior of the football player out of the club is very important with scandal and everything. Yes. So how it goes on that PR management, when things happen, goes wrong?
I mean, again, that comes down to relations with the media, with the networks, online, newspapers, all of that. And really sometimes I believe that when somebody makes a mistake, the best way to kind of really dead and make the management of the damage limitation is to admit to it, apologize and move on.
Okay. And how important right now the education for football player about awareness about using social media to create an image and brand for itself?
Very important. And also a lot of the bigger players now don't control their own social media. They have their companies. Yes. Doing it for them, or special companies that are specialists in this kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think also you hear with me the last venture of David become Otro, which is like the social network for football players, which is $60 million was injected with this. I think.
Where is it?
In UK.
I'm saying, where is it? I've never. They made a big splash and now it's disappeared.
But that's a strategy. Well, that's why I ask you about is it all about money or it cannot be technologies? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Honestly, I don't know. This Otro came with big money.
Yeah.
And I think after their launch and all the things they did, no one's heard from them.
100%, yes. So also at the same time, like we see right now the growth of the clubs and see like how they can using brand endorsement. I think also like you play big roles with your players, which is like to get for them brand endorsement and brand deals. So how it works between like football deals and business deals?
I mean, look, football deals is contract based in terms of what they do on the football pitch. Again, that's dependent on obviously how good they are, how hard they work, what their value is to the club. And then the business side is again marketing. And for me, it's very important for athletes, and not just athletes, celebrities, music people. It's which kind of brands you put yourself with.
Okay.
Because sometimes somebody paying you the most money isn't the best for your brand.
Okay. And what do you think about this? We call it the football rumors, which is like when players get old, they go to China or Middle East. Is it true, these things? Like
it's true because, I mean, China now is almost finished as far as the big money things are concerned because now they've made a big clamp down on how much they spend there. UAE, the money has not been here for a while. Saudi Arabia, yes, they spend a lot of money now. Qatar, because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but at the same time, the teams in the Middle East and China, even though maybe not China, but Middle East, they're trying to be signing younger players.
That's really interesting. And we want to talk also about your company, which is like you also launched your company, Attitude Mask.
Yes.
So how it come this project? Can you tell us more details?
Yeah, so Altitude Mask is actually launched by my cousin Samar Somers, who's also my partner. And we have, we set it up a few years ago, and it's a UAE-based startup, technology startup, which is, promoting a new product, which is a training mask for controlling your breathing and measuring all of these kind of things. So, it's been going for a number of years. A lot of big athletes and celebrities have worn the mask. Anthony Joshua, Gareth Bale, Dele Alli, lots of big people all the time. But now, we're developing new things, which is going to be making the product even better. And hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement soon and make the UAE proud of this product.
That's really interesting. And how you learn from that venture in terms of like product development and stage by stage. So how it goes to keep like long-term development?
It's very technical, to be honest, because, when you're trying to develop and improve a product, I mean, everything's evolution, right? So you start off like, the iPhone started off with the iPhone 1, now and then the iPhone 12.
Okay.
So with Altitude Mask, we were on Altitude Mask 1, then we were Altitude Mask 2.0. Now we're developing into the next phase. And obviously a lot of research and development and money investment goes into these developments.
Okay.
But, so far so good, and hopefully things will only get better.
And also, we want also to highlight of one of the biggest nightclub here in Dubai, One Oak.
Yes.
I think, tell us the story, how you meet with the founder of One Oak in New York and you get that deal happen.
Look, again, due to my background in nightlife, I've known Richie Akiva, who's the founder of One Oak in New York for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And me and my partners in Dubai have as well. And really, when they wanted to bring the brand to the Middle East and to Dubai especially, they needed to work with people they know and people they can trust.
Yeah.
And lucky for us and for myself, we were the trusted people. And again, in March, it's going to be 3 years we're open.
Yeah.
And honestly, things are going great there.
Since you are a nightlife and expert, I think most of the people will receive a lot of this question, which is like, why, in your opinion, Dubai are not like London and Paris in terms of touring of artists when it's come to a nightclub? Always we're seeing the same artists and the same roster. I think
to be honest, you're right. It's very boring.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, because firstly, I feel like maybe the clientele in Dubai, the regular clientele in Dubai are not really very educated when it comes to very type of music.
Yeah.
So they only know what they see, which is the big stars or the big hits. And so unfortunately, these are the ones that they will pay, let's say, to go and see.
Okay.
So that's maybe the reason. But the truth is, there's a lot of fantastic, great up-and-coming talent all around the world.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, due to the COVID-19 situation now, unfortunately, this type of thing has become very, very, very difficult.
Okay, so what is your opinions on terms of the nightlife post-COVID? Because I think right now there is a vaccine, and I think there is even higher demand because people has been sober for a long time.
Yeah, look, like I said, for us at One Oak, for example, I'm only speaking from a personal point of view, is that we've been very lucky because the venue was very much designed as a very nice lounge, and which becomes a club. So when it came to the COVID-19 precautions, we were more prepared than everybody else, and we have a great operation, and we have a beautiful terrace, and offering food, shisha, and drinks. So from that point of view, it's good. And but the nightlife logistics and organization is changing all the time.
I know personally, Saif, you are a big fan of art, and also you manage also a couple of artists.
Yeah.
And you was behind the reason of one of the artists to move to Dubai.
Yes.
So tell us about this talented artist and what is your relationship with art?
I've always loved art. I didn't really. Well, that's a lie. I only got into art maybe about 10 years ago. I had friends of mine that would collect a lot of expensive art. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford it, so I had to kind of look at different things. But then I took a liking to pop art, and there's one fantastically talented young artist from the UK called George Rollo, who I was responsible for actually bringing to Dubai a couple of years ago. Then we decided to work together, and then he's done art and customizations for the biggest people in the world, from Drake to the big footballers to 50 Cent. And now he's permanently based in Dubai, working, doing his art, and doing great things.
So, in your opinion, right now is like for certain talent, Dubai can be actually booming place to start your own like ventures in terms of talent.
100%. I mean, as a hub for talent and creatives, it's great. Maybe they can get a bit more support
Yeah.
from maybe, you know, governmental institutes and things like that. But
Yeah.
they love it here in Dubai because it's a great place to live. But of course, you know, still there's a cost of living and things like that. But again, due to the downturn in the economies, these things have gone down now. So I think it's a great time to get into Dubai now.
Okay, and in your opinion right now, like maybe now Dubai is one of the biggest city in terms of, we call it like importing shows, celebrity and stuff. What is, in your personal opinion, needed for artists to go from Dubai to become actually exporting talent from the region? The opposite.
They need to come with their flavor. They need to, they need to come with a sound that can be translated from local to international.
Okay.
And, at the same time, like most people that are up and coming, they're going to need to get some kind of support and maybe collaborations with some big stars to get, get recognized. But, if they can, there's a few trying.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I know, that are locally based that are doing it. So there's opportunities.
I want also to highlight about the last venture, which is like the new fitness club that you have.
Yeah, Transform Altitude.
Yes, which is like amazing project, and we see a lot of A-list athlete, and even like 50 Cent was in the club, Yeah. So how it goes like from venture to venture, even with your current business?
To be honest, the way I see the businesses that I'm involved in, I like to connect because people in sport like to be around people in music. People in music like to be around people in entertainment. People in entertainment like to be around people in sport.
Yeah.
So the whole thing goes around full circle. So for me, any business I try and do, some of it I'm doing primarily to try and make money as a business. Some of it is used as a way of connecting the network. So Transform Altitude is very much that, where it's a fitness and health center, medical center, where we work with some of the biggest athletes and celebrities in the world, and also people who live in UAE and Dubai who want to get fit.
Yeah.
Even like myself.
Yeah.
We're in there training, trying to get healthy like everybody else.
Yeah. So this has come up to the next question, which is also like you're doing also some other investment overseas, and one of the major one we can talk about, which is like the investment with DJ Ski, which is founder of Dash Radio, and there is like the project, the Hope.
Hope Studios.
Hope Studios. Yeah.
Hope
So.
Studios. Very cool.
Yeah.
To be honest, Ski is a very, very old friend of mine, and he's the founder of Dash Radio, which is a great digital radio station doing big things globally.
Yeah.
But he came to me and said to me, Saif, we have a really cool artist who's doing very cool basketball hoops. His name is Jarrett, and do you think you would be interested to get involved? I said, of course, because he wanted me involved because of my network and my thing. So we all came together, and the company is based in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we're going to be getting our first batch of exclusive custom hoops to the UAE, which are going to be available for sale as well. But to be honest, like all the biggest celebrities in America, basketball players, the game rapper, all these people all having a hoop, and they love it because it's a custom hoop that can be put in your house as more of an art and a design, and you can also play with a mini basketball with it.
Yeah, that's really like interesting, Saif. And I want to talk to you about how you can mix between your passion for football and for music, because I see like you have very close friend with different artists, and I want to ask you from your perspective when you're flying overseas, what people think when they say about Dubai, like when ask you people about Dubai.
To be honest, unfortunately, when people think of Dubai, they just think money.
Yes.
But the truth of the reality is, obviously, money is not dropping from trees anymore. And people here are a lot more, educated when it comes to business and how to do business with celebrities and things like that. So, and at the end of the day, Dubai is the most desirable place for these people to come to.
Yeah.
So whereas before, artists would only come here if they got paid a fortune. Yeah. Now, especially now, we're the only city in the world that's open for business in an open way, and especially with the virus, and the rulers of the country have been great in how they handled the pandemic. So now, it's a good time.
Do you think the city itself, like, it's become difficult for artists from town when he try to get like feature with artists? When he say I'm from Dubai, the price go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things. It's like, people just think Dubai money. They don't understand that there's normal people here.
Yeah.
We're all normal at the end of the day. We're not. We're all here trying to make our name in the world.
Yeah.
Whether it's entertainment, music, sport, whatever. So, just because we live in Dubai, it doesn't mean that we have a lot of money. It just means that we have a good spirit, we're hardworking, and we're good people.
So how you feel after like 2 years anniversary of One Oak is supposed to be happening, but then
3
it's
years,
like
3 years.
Now 3 years. It's
Yes.
like how you feel after 3 years from One Oak, and like how you feel like you being part of the culture of the city.
Great. I mean, look, like I said, we sit in a different because we're a smaller venue.
Yeah.
So we're not really dependent on having huge artists to get people into the door.
Of course.
People obviously they come to One Oak because it's the #1 nightlife brand in America, and for us it's great to be part of it. Great to be evolving the concept,
Yeah.
and also looking forward to maybe bringing some new concepts.
So what is your prediction right now for the upcoming World Cup now in Qatar? This is gonna be huge, I think, and you are ready for this.
Oh yeah, I mean I have great relations with the people who are managing that project,
Yeah.
and they've done an amazing job, and I think the World Cup in Qatar is going to be fantastic, to be honest, especially after by the time the Qatar World Cup comes, it's going to be like a tough 2 years in the world.
Yeah.
So now hopefully the World Cup is going to be a great way to celebrate.
This is really interesting, and we see also like there is a booming on the traffic now from the UK to Dubai.
Yes.
I think it can be a new bridge of UK music scene here in terms of performance.
Definitely. I mean, look, there's always been big love from the expats, especially in the UAE, for the UK music scene. But
Yeah.
I also think UAE can be a big hub for recording artists from the UK to come and record in the UAE.
Yes, I think I agree with you 100%. And this is, we have the same question with many artists that we receive. It's just like they are looking for studio to recording here in town, which is, that really makes sense. So we talk about something really happening this year, which is a huge, the Expo 2020.
Yes.
So how you feel that Expo 2020 can really boost the economic right now with...
Look, I hope it's going to be a great celebration. Of course, it's a year delayed. To be fair, I think it's going to be a big surprise because a lot of people don't really know what the plans are for Expo.
Okay.
And we're almost in February now.
Yeah.
So, and it's starting in October, I think. So, look, I hope it's going to boost the economy in a big way. I hope a lot of people are going to visit. I mean, a lot of people are visiting. I think December just gone was the busiest December in the history of the UAE.
Amazing.
In Dubai.
Okay, Saif, I want to ask you a very important question, like how important to have like a mentorship in your life? Like, I'm sure, because always you mention about networking, like how it works when you have people can advise you, that advice can worth $1 million, like, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very important to speak to people who have been doing big things in business, in life, good people, honest people, and to get advices and to really, take their wisdom and to be able to pass it down to the younger generation as well.
Okay. So, like, I want to ask you a question, like, for every entrepreneur, like, doing something in his career and there is some kind of impact and slowdown because of the pandemic, what's the piece of advice for every entrepreneur trying to do something that's disruptive?
Work hard, find a niche and a direction which is something that's not really, being done in a good way.
Yeah.
Focus on it and make sure you take the setbacks in a good way. And keep working hard.
Okay, Saif, tell us more about your company, which is the company that for sport.
Future Gen Sports.
Yes, tell us more about your company.
That's my company that I use to really oversee and manage all my business interests and the sport. And, like I said, we work with a lot of organizations around the world. We work with a lot of brands. We do a lot of consulting with a lot of big brands around the world. I have partners all around Europe who, we do a lot of big things with companies like Puma, Adidas, Nike, And we really try and keep it varied, because especially in these times, you have to find different ways to generate interest in business.
Okay, so for a lot of potential football player watching oversee our interview, what is a piece of advice to kind of like go out from the comfortable zone and trying to reach out and trying to pitch themselves? How the football player pitch himself to Asian?
Look, the truth is, if you're a good player and you have the right attitude, you don't need an agent. But where you need an agent is to give you the right advices and to give you the right support and to give you the right decisions when the time is needed.
So I think this is really amazing, Saif. We really enjoyed the conversation with you. And for everyone watching this interview, they can find Saif on Instagram, Saif PR.
Yes, SAIF PR.
Yes, and if you have any more question related to football and luxury and lifestyle, you can just hit him directly on Instagram, email.
Anytime, hit me directly or contact the VVIP team. They're my guys now.
Yes, and we will break in more news when there is upcoming news.
100%.